if you have. Okay, okay. So I welcome you all. I think we all can hear each other. And very happy International Yoga Day. Good that all the world is aware that we have one day to celebrate as Mother's Day, Father's Day, and International Yoga Day. So I'm happy, and I would say, Babi, to lead over.
Hi, everyone, again. Thank you so much, and happy International Yoga Day to everyone. Actually, I can say that I benefited a lot from yoga. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Babi. I'm, uh, I'm a yoga teacher. I got my certificate from India a couple of years back. And but before I was doing yoga myself, learning it slowly on the internet. Then I started following yoga teachers. Then I started learning techniques. And at the end, I decided to study it well and get to be the professional. So that's why I went to India, where the yoga was created, and I learned from the roots. And I'm so grateful for this experience, which changed actually the degree of my mindset. So I benefited a lot, as I already mentioned. My body became more sensitive to my uh, due to brain capacity, I can say, or so I found the link between body and the brain, I can say. Yeah, it's just a short, it's sometimes difficult to explain it by words. So I learned how to handle my body and my mind through yoga. So I also noticed that most of the people, they go through this way because this is just a beginner way when you learn through your body. So I was like going through this experience through my body, and then I reached the different levels. And today I'm in the level where I can easily control my body using my brain. So this is the great benefit of yoga, which I gained through my own experience. And as I'm a yoga teacher, I'm teaching online and to my friends. So in my yoga, I mostly prefer hatha and vinyasa. So the combination of hatha and vinyasa, which gives the pressure for the body to feel that you are working out, but at the same time, it is such a nice flow through yoga, so you don't take it as hard exercise. So it's more feminine approach, I can say, which I love, and my students as well so far. And I really see the benefits when you take it easy, because most of us, we are not like professionals and we are not well stretched, right? Because of sedentary work, because of so many obstacles we're dealing during the day. So we get stiff. And when you want to, this blood circulation, the energy circulation in your body. So it's, I guess, in my opinion, it's the best going through the flow, because flows give you the motion, flows give you the rhythm, flows give you the this tension, like you are listening to the music, like you have beats and you just do the yoga according to that beats. So this is what I realized for myself and discovered, I can say, in yoga. And I'm really grateful for that. And actually, it's never-ending process. I'm still learning and I'm really open to gain more techniques later on. Thank you.
Very nice to see the young people learning yoga and having an understanding about it. And each person is. Do you have some 1 minute technique which you apply, you learn from yoga?
1 minute, excuse me, I didn't hear
Any
you well.
small technique, any small yoga methods which you can use anytime?
Yeah. Actually, the stretching techniques, which I do everywhere. So it doesn't matter. For example, if I couldn't work out, or if I feel, actually my problem is my back. This is how I came to yoga, so to solve it. So problem is still there, but the tension is much less, because it takes time to recover, and it happens. Sometimes I don't feel it at all. Sometimes it appears again because of the stress, because of the body position, because of your sleep. There are so many things which actually affects my body. So when I have this tension, I just do few yoga movements, which gives me to stretch all of my vertebra, let's say back part, and I don't feel any tension after that. I wish I can show it to you now, but it's not a good, convenient space to show it. Maybe we can organize some online yoga
You're welcome.
course, voluntary, so we can show it all. Just 4 exercise I do, and I feel amazing.
You're welcome to share. We on Friday today, one in the morning, 6 o'clock in India. It's ET time is 8:30 in the evening. Every week, we have class for rejuvenation techniques, which students have been learning. So anybody can come up with any issue and so practically, if any physical movement. So you are welcome. India Friday morning. And that will be, no, that can be used. That will be Thursday night.
I will check with my schedule. If it's a convenient time,
we have 3 timings. Like in India, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and then 7:30 in the morning, and evening time this 7 p.m. in the evening.
I can definitely join one of them.
Any one of them in 24-hour cycle, people can join any part. These 3 classes are active every day, 3 times.
Sure. Thank you for invitation.
Okay. No, everyone is welcome. And now, so it's all up to you, Bobby, to whom you will pass.
I'm gonna pass it energetically to Pilar.
Oh, Pilar, where is she?
She's here.
Here I am. Namaste.
Namaste, Pilar.
Namaste.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about my beginnings in yoga. It was thanks to my son. He was a teacher. He was living in India, and when I went to see him, I was very bad in my body, with my hips moved, and a vertebra very bad, and these kind of things. And he told me, Mother, we are going to do a little bit of yoga. And I said, what's that? And I started to do what he told me. Later, he came to Mexico and taught me several postures and this kind of things. Later, he came back to Mexico and started to give yoga teacher trainings, and I studied with my first teacher. That was my son. Later, in the same place, I took the teacher training in restorative yoga, because I thought it was good for me because of my age, my back vertebrae, and all the problems that I had. And I did it. Later, I went to India, and Krishna was my teacher. Thank you, teacher, for all the things that I learned. And I learned the yoga in a very, very different way. This teacher that I'm watching him in this moment taught me the yoga in a different way. It was very about the life, about the science, things that for me were very, very important. And I was in his yoga teacher training, and I came, and I was in India 8 months in this time, and learning more about the yoga. So when I came back to Mexico, I started to teach my friends and my family, and at home I was doing these classes. I started to share this very beautiful practice that helped to me. It helps me not only in the physical part, but it does. I don't know if I am using the good words, but I hope you are understanding me. And I was sharing not only the asanas, but the yamas, the niyamas, that is the first part of the yoga, and how I am with the environment, how I am with my relationships, because some people make beautiful asanas, but doesn't have good relationships. And for me, was the first part is not to make a beautiful sirsasana, but for me it's better to to have a beautiful relationship with my family, my friends, with my neighbors, with all the people that was with me. Later, I started to open my classes for people that doesn't know me, and for the people, because I am psychotherapy, and I had these people that I helped with a psychotherapist, and started to go with me, and I created a method. It's not only the therapy, is the yoga, is the spirituality, is all the things that one human being need. And I started to invite to the people to these kind of groups with yoga, with meditation, with sharings, to talk about our problems and how we can solve them, and these kind of things. And later, well, my path in yoga is not very long. I started like an old woman, and I have now retreat. I don't know how to say, retreat house, or I have a place where we have retreats, and the people comes here to do yoga, to meditate, to walk in the forest, because I live in the forest, in the middle of the forest. The people that comes here is people that wants to be with themselves, with ourselves. Because you don't have here a restaurant, neither a town, nothing. In the middle of the forest, in the middle of the forest. And we are doing yoga since the morning, and we go to walk here in the forest. Later, we have vegetarian food, and later we have these workshops to about yoga or meditation, or about the emotions, how to handle your emotions. And I am combining the therapy with the yoga, the meditation, and these things that I learned. Now I am very happy because in 2 months, more or less, I'm going to be there in India. I am going to visit my teachers, and I am very happy because I'm going to close my place. The name is Om Shanti. Om Shanti Forest is the name of my place, and I'm going to close it because I don't know how many times I'm going to be in India. I'm very free, so I can do it. And well, this is my path. I'm only receiving the I don't know if, the things that my heart wants to do, and now wants to go to India to learn more and more and more about this beautiful yoga. So my name is Pilar. Sorry, I didn't say in the beginning, but I think this is not very important. I'm very happy to share with you this my path, and I'm very thank you with my teacher Krishna. Thank you, teacher. I will see you very soon. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome,
Namaste.
Pilar. You're welcome, Pilar. And yes, I have been listening to stories My journey also started with my family because my elder sister at a very young age, she also was a yoga did a yoga teacher training first time, no, in India. At that time, yoga teacher training was not popular, but she did it, and through her, I was introduced to Hatha Yoga, or this therapeutic yoga from Bihar School of Yoga, Mumbai, from Swami Satyananda Saraswati, of which book we recommend always in teacher training course and give to recommend to every students to keep it. So my beginning was through my my own sister. I got introduced to yoga when I was teenage, no, like 13, 14 years of age. And slowly I started to explore, doing more and become inclusive, same like you, that yoga is not only to fix the body, but looking yoga in relationship, in profession, in work, and finding its application and different parts. And this also become my journey. I started to see its application. One for sure is enlightenment, truth, samadhi, God is one aspect of it. This is the final destination. But another aspect is to living life, practical. So living life always we live in relationship. We don't live anything else except relationship with with man, human, animal, nature. We are living relationship. So this was also my one of the way to find interrelationship, internal and external, both together. I'm still exploring it. And just to remembering through your story, I also remember and do not limit the yoga to only to physiology or psychology, but exploring more to integrate in the yoga system. So this is almost my story, the same way, relating, listening to you, I remember that we have an excuse, someone to connect, and where learning begins and it never ends. Yeah? So thank you very much.
Thank you, teacher.
So where is Bobby? So Pilar, it's yours to whom to pass it on. Well, let's hear from Pavel at the end. Let's hear from Marvin.
Very good
So,
then.
Marvin?
So namaste. Thank you for sharing your beautiful stories. And as Krishnaji just said right now, we get everything from each other, and everything is a relationship, right? Everything is a relationship, and the emotions are consequence of this relationship that we create. No, so we have a choice either to maintain it or transform it. Well, my name is Marvin. I'm a man of 29 years old. It's been now 9 years, a bit more than the 9 years that I got in touch with yoga. I was switching universities. I didn't pass an exam. It felt weird. So I wanted also to search for something greater. No, not just, I just wanted to maybe feel myself. So I found a book about meditation. There was yoga. I put where was yoga born on Google. Google replied Rishikesh. And there I was booking a trip to India to study yoga. So first starting in an ashram, teacher training. I was always for personal reasons. I went there a month, very dedicated, with a very strong intention to grasp as much as I could. That's the only purpose I had. No, go there. I came back home with the practice. I was really in love with the pranayama at the time because I felt that was the practice who would allow me to pierce more into the beyond. So there was a practice called master sequence. I'll share the technique. I'll share a few techniques at the end. The master sequence that I was doing for barely a month, but I was doing with full intention for like 20, 30 minutes. And after a month, I started having epiphanies, right? At the same time, I was also following a practice of Yoga Nidra by Saraswati. Very good practice, which allows you to, which trains your mind to slide into the subtler dimensions without losing consciousness, because that's what usually happens. Is we have to train and practice, because then we get lost. There's a thought, there's an idea, and that's always the main obstacle, even in meditation, right? We get triggered by something that's pleasurable, something that's fearful, right? So I came back home, I did this practice. I had what can be referred to little kundalini jolt, starting from the bottom to the top. It was very sexual in its nature, because at the moment I was doing a yoga nidra, and what I would try to do is called astral projection. That's the name. It's basically when you try to detach yourself from the physical body. So there's many ways you can do that, but just having the intention and lying there, you start going more and more relaxed. You go to a state where the body cannot move. The body's asleep, but the mind is awake. And then there you can do many, many things. It's a whole dimension that opens up. And so I was trying to do that. At the time I got lost. And for some reason, I was witnessing some type of a sexual encounter between a black woman and a black man. But not, it was very white background, but you almost felt, let's say, I just want to say the word tantric, because it's like there was purpose and intention. And witnessing that, I had this surge that stemmed from the sexual center and also the root, and that electrocuted all my body. That's the first time I felt this bliss, ecstatic bliss that is greater than anything else, which was interesting at the time, because you want more of that. And you may you may start believing that life is about getting such experiences, but it's not. Well, in any case, I went back to India. I thought I needed more knowledge. I wanted to hit the gold pot, the gold pot. That was my intention. So I went back to India. I went to the same ashram to do another teacher yoga training. I specialize as well in yoga for women. I did a course in massage, in Reiki. I wanted to know a little bit about that. And then I had one last meditation course planned. But I was uncertain, because I was trying to get advices and this and that. And then I found Krishnaji being referred to by, at the time, there was a teacher we had called Rahul, who was a very interesting person, still is. I lost contact with him, but he referred me to Krishnaji. So I went there one day to test one of his class, and I was just baffled by the experience. It was so simple. It was just so simple. It didn't seem you do much, but by having your mind and your intention in a certain place, you are able to experience much more than a regular yoga class, which would fall into more the category of fitness, depending on how it's done. And I remember to that date doing this small sequence of Paschimottanasana and just the usual warming up of a joint sequence, but being aware of the breath, the movement, and how the weight is dispersed in the body. You do the movement, you feel yourself going through, and you go deeper and deeper within yourself as you go deeper in the movement. And that was the first time I was feeling something that deep, because when I went back to the hotel that same day, I had like an episode of detoxification. I was sweating a lot. I went to take a nap. I was sweating, high temperature. I was having very vivid dreams, crazy dreams. I don't know what kind of dreams, but it felt very powerful. So I decided to stay a month and a week with Krishnaji to do what's called Hatha Tantra. No, I brought back this home. I'm going to fast forward a little bit to leave some space to some time to you. Sorry. And I also really got into the practice of asceticism, right? Of doing fasting. It really sounded very, I was very drawn to it, because indeed the mind needs purification. We need to purify our body and our mind to make room for the higher power to come through, for the light to emerge. It's very important. It's a part of the practice, right? Is that in life there's both approaches. There's the male and the female, but they're both very important. We need a certain practice that we must abide to as much as we can, because that also goes according to universal laws. You find out there's a cause and consequence, right? And it's just certain things are, we have to go through certain processes. So I'm still doing this up to this date. It's more like a lifestyle, because you have to change yourself, right? You have to change your whole life. And that's why many diets may fail, is because we fail to integrate the experience and carry it further. So I got in touch with fasting, and I kept this practice of Hatha Tantra, and I got more of those epiphanies. And then the world flipped at a certain moment, because as well, I was not really paying attention much to my material life, paying a bit more attention to all the, I don't want to say it like that, but more like to the spiritual practice, which is not that true, because you need the other for. So I was maybe just a bit lost. So my life brought me back to my material side, because, to put it shortly, I was getting in debt, right? So I felt it was very humbling at the time, very humbling, because I lost my disciplines, I lost the willpower, because in reality, I didn't have anything. I was taking things for granted, which was a very nice lesson that can make you go crazy. But that's why also I must remind the path of seeking. My intention, I forgot, my intention was always to find the ultimate. When I would do my yoga nidra practice, there's that moment in the practice where you go to that subtle state of your mind, and you're supposed to put what's called a seed, right? Resolve. And I would always put reach supreme consciousness, but with such intention, reach supreme consciousness, reach supreme consciousness. And I did that for some time. So eventually I was led to feel what I like to say before the feet of God, just a bare touch, a bare little sensation. That was very humbling. It was ecstasy. It's everything. It's just so much. But at the same time, you feel that it changes you. It's like last time we talked with Krishna. Once you know and feel a certain truth, there is no way to go back. So you start witnessing the disintegration of your identity. And that's why you need a strong heart, because if you're not able to stay in the heart and you just stay attached to your identity, you will go crazy. You will become very depressed, and you might become even suicidal, because the mind goes crazy, doesn't know what's happening, right? So it's very important to stay in the heart. And fast forward today, I started doing yoga teaching, but it was never what I really intended. My plan nowadays is more of I have a vision of creating a foundation, investing a lot in hydrogen, the renewable energies, helping the world in a bigger scale. So right now my practice is quite simple. Is I try to entertain the fasting aspect a lot, the meditation, something I really like to refer to Ishwana Pranidhana, devotion to God at any point in time, which is my favorite technique, if we can call it as that. It can be defined a technique, but also not a technique, because what I like to do is I need to remind myself at any time of the day, whatever I'm doing, whatever's happening, it's almost like suspending yourself. No, is try to remind yourself of what's greater than you, of where you come from. Let's call it God, without being religious, because I truly believe that religion cannot lead you to enlightenment, because it puts a barrier. It puts a barrier, and it's something mental, and what you're trying to achieve is of the beyond. And when we really try to abide by certain programs that are not even created by our own experience, then unless we get a touch that eventually life will help us out at certain moments by pushing us in certain direction. So I always try to remember just a higher power from the heart. So now I have more like a gesture that feels, after practice, that feels more natural to do. It's more like a click. I was like, oh, why am I feeling like that? Oh, it's true. Shwana Pranidhana, I was not connecting myself. And it's very important to do that, because also in that practice of asceticism, the mind feels very volatile. We eat because of sustenance, but more of the sustenance of the body we need to feel the matter inside us. But when you don't have that, and you have that insecurity of the mind that is trying to relate to something, you need something. And a great mistake I used to do is I would I would love my ego, you know. I would love my identity, you know. I would start to praise myself without even realizing, which is very dangerous because it only leads you to more suffering. In that sense, there is nothing to be praised about our ego because it's imperfect, right? And by praising what's imperfect, it will even come more imperfect in our lives, which will lead more to suffering. So I always try my best to remind myself of what's perfect and already there, the place where we come from, the source. So that's my favorite, I'd say, technique, if we can call it that. There's no really way to do it. It's just having the intention in the heart of connecting to God, to source, whatever holds true to your most deepest core. During that time, I also learned another technique I would like to pass down to anyone that wants to enhance their, I like to call it the fluidic body, because the term energy, I think, is being misused a lot nowadays. Everything is energy, and it's not, you know. You have different things. You have the body, you have the mind, you have the chakra system, and I feel the chakra system is more like fluids, you know. It relates also after in the body to the physiology, which is different. But a technique I learned from an author called Robert Bruce, it's called tactile imaging. It is very powerful because you have many techniques of visualization, but visualization doesn't have much power. There's really the importance of feeling, because experience, we feel the experience, right? So if we want to experience, we need to feel, right? Not just with our senses, but with our entire being, with the body, with the mind, with everything. So the technique goes like that. Just as you feel like you can just stroke yourself with your hand or your face or whatever, you try to recreate that sensation with your mind. So it's called body tactile imaging. And as you do that, in any place of your body, you can enhance this system that you have. And for me, it was very powerful because it helps you eventually, if those that are really into seeking enlightenment, you will come definitely to know of Kundalini, because Kundalini is the innate process of evolution. It's the innate process of evolution of consciousness. Like Bobby was also talking about a flow, it's an inherent rhythm, an inherent signature to consciousness that is always seeking to evolve, right? So you do this, for example, let's say you feel your base, you try to feel your base, and you just try with your mind to move the energy up and down in circles, you slash it, you do whatever, but you try to do that with your mind. With practice, you will feel heat, you will feel more things. You might even tap into memories that are trapped. Sometimes past traumas may be released, but I feel like it is a very nice technique. I have lots of things I do nowadays, so it's a bit of a mess in my head sometimes, trying to keep up with many things. But I like to do that, especially from very simple way of doing this is from feet to top. You just feel like you're moving, right? You're moving your consciousness, but you really feel, right? You really try to feel and move whatever there is, right? And you get to know that. You get to open a lot of your centers. You can eventually get cities. That's not a promise. That's also up to the life you're having and also your path. And then, of course, cannot forget this one, that technique that for me is, I think, is the most important one to really achieve the greatest of the greatest, is the true meditation that can only happen when we really decide to retract ourselves, right? This process, as Krishnaji was saying, the involution, we really try to go in. This is something I really try my best to stick to, but I fail many times because I encounter the fear, I encounter sometimes the slightest discomfort, and the only thing I can say is that my mind is too weak a lot of times, because of course, let's say you sit, Your back is straight. You try to meditate deeply. You just try. You put the intention of seeking the center, thinking the core, seeking the consciousness, the supreme consciousness. And by staying there and staying very strong, it means also that you cannot move. You have to allow, but also you have to take yourself. You have to bring yourself, but at the same time, you have to allow yourself. I'm sorry that my vocabulary fails at that moment, but just have
It's
the
okay.
intention and you go there. And yeah, that's the most important one I wanted to share. And yeah, that will be it, right? Today I'm a day trader and I try my best to earn money for sure, but stay disciplined with my spiritual practice. So one day I may help those around me and this planet, which is in great need of help and assistance. So that is it. Thank you.
Very nice. I particularly wanted to see how people are evolving in yoga, and yoga is changing, is becoming very broad. Understanding of yoga into the mind of people. First it was a very general understanding. Oh, yoga is just a little bit kind of exercise. Then some people have idea yoga is only for aesthetic people, only looking for God. Then it comes to another polarity. Oh, it's only for body exercise. And between these 2 points, everyone is finding its way, including. But one thing I'm very happy to see now, yoga people are starting to see as a tool of transformation with a different. Yes, the classical Indian textbook of yoga is, yes, very precise, very short, crispy, coded in sutras. And but when we read it, somebody understands it, then this person brings out in small techniques which makes a meaningful sense to people who are not even introduced to yoga. So in the West, now I see that yoga is being incorporated. Like even like Hira is a psychotherapist, but she learned yoga and incorporated it into her own profession, and that yoga become very broad. So nice to see how it is evolving and encompassing a big area. My teachings are, I see the person, and person is whatever the person needs at the level of the person, the desire of the person, and particularly the need of the person, what person can absorb. I teach the person, and I like to create teachers, because then one good teacher and good understanding can benefit a lot of students. So I'm very happy to work with anyone, and particularly this Rishikesh new place where you have not been yet. It's a very nice place to have intensive retreat or go inside, because it's very silent and the place is meditative. So welcome. And yes, next. Wait, Bobby disappeared again. So
I'm here, I'm listening.
Okay. So let's listen from
Every
Pavel.
single speaker, I'm here, I'm listening.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Pavel. I'm 55. I'm living in Cyprus, but I'm originally from Russia. And I'm a medical doctor. By my education, I worked 3 years in obstetrics gynecology department, and then I moved to medical business. But then I later sell some shares and moved to Cyprus to live. And then I realized my dharma is to to treat people. Because of that, I came to the idea of yoga, Ayurveda, and Tantra. For me, it's three disciplines which Shiva gives our humanity. And I'm trying now to combine these three together. So yoga for me, not so far, but I realized that at the early age of childhood, I realized that I saw my mother, doing cobra pose in the morning. And the second thing, she always treat all disease of our family with Shilajit. It was very popular in Russia at that time, but it's now I realize that it's yoga and Ayurveda together. So one of the remedies I want to give to everybody: please buy Shilajit and keep it with you, and treat all your disease with this small thing, but very, very, very powerful. So I meet with Guruji through online, but I came with the idea of Tantra. But then we move through the whole process of different therapeutic techniques. And for me, it was very, very powerful that through some meditation technique, you can go to the other dimension. And then one day we start doing the Vijnan Bhairav Tantra book, and with with 112 techniques, and try to find out the therapeutical way to use it. So, and then one day came the idea of Tantra therapy or Shiva therapy. And Tantra is almost misused word, but Shiva therapy is maybe a very, very powerful thing to combine all together. And we discussed a lot of things. We work with anti-addiction, but the main idea is to create a place of, we called it oasis of wisdom. The place where the people, we call it 75 plus, but maybe a little bit earlier, 65 plus, but the place where the people can stay till the end and be happy. So it's maybe like in Pilar case, it's maybe the forest, but okay, we'll see. But we discussed the idea why people should move there, what is the reason to move there, and what is the idea of staying, what is the wisdom. And now when I check and when I meet new knowledge and new system, I always try to find the wisdom in it. And we meet every week with Guruji about and discuss many different things. And I also try to use it in my therapeutical practice. And I realized that for the last few weeks, I've got some patients, and all of them, I prescribe few things, but also one pranayama. And I want to share it with you because it's very, very good for summer. It's called Shitali. Yes, maybe you know Shitali, but also I realized that for people who have, for example, autoimmune disease, it means that immunity is fighting with the body. It's some kind of heat, some kind of agni, which is burning the body. So this pranayama is also very useful. the people who have got the fire in the brain, which is blaming everybody, so some hitting emotions, it's also very useful for them just to take a seat, make a tube, a tube with your tongue, and breathe in. And try to realize that you are breathing some cooling prana, cooling energy inside your mouth, inside your throat, then swallow. And this cooling energy goes deeper, goes down to your stomach, even to your pelvis, and relaxing and cooling down all your body. And then breathe out from the nose slowly. So this is the small technique. Then I realized that the minimum is 7 breaths, but it's very, very useful for summer, for autoimmune disease, and for fighting mind, fighting burning mind. Maybe somebody else, but this is three group of people which can be very useful. So you make a tube, you breathe in, you swallow this cooling energy down, and you breathe out. This is very, maybe you can keep breathing inside for a few seconds before breathe out, but it will depend on your condition. So the yoga is very important for me. Okay, there are different waves of yoga, but one day I realized that very important, the Shaktipat, the God energy, and it was very interesting experience, not so far away, with Ganesha mantra. When you're chanting Ganesha mantra, then you can realize that you are Ganesha, and you have Ganesha nose. And it is so blissful experience, and but always for me, I realized that it should be some kind of sankalpa, the goal to do the practice. The goal is very, very important. So thank you, and I'm really happy to be
next series of us is coming on mantra and therapy, and over this Shiva is bringing, while today is Yoga International Day, so we cannot continue our series the way we are moving. Next is with Pavel, and after you, Shiva is bringing her is questions. She is a very sincere seeker and working on mantra siddhis, working on mantras. In a tantric tradition, she is initiated. So she will bring her questions next coming Friday. I ask you that invite people who are seekers. They will find very interesting things, because each individual is sharing something very important, and we can understand each other. In a way, our story is the same. We got somehow initiated, then some experience happened, then we can't stop exploring it. Then we try to integrate it in our old knowledge or religion and culture wherever we are born, and we are trying to make it a meaningful whole of life, including yoga into life, including other things into yoga. Like my life is yoga, so I try to include everything in yoga and try to see the applicability of my knowledge and experience in any science. Doesn't matter whether it's medical science or any disease, autism, or any incurable diseases. There, I like to see my yogic eyes how to correlate and what can be done about it. So today I will give a key because you're also working on pranayama, some visualization, but I will give a universal key. And yoga is easy. If you ask at the level of intelligence, it's not more than one sentence. No? If you ask at the level of technicalities and discipline, oh, it's big thing. If you ask its applicability, then it's infinite in its applicable form. But in an understanding form, and that's what my training and teaching. I say I don't give you books, I don't give you anything, but by the time you go, it will be in your fingertips. Exactly everything known, and application you learn by your teaching, by your whole life. But you learn the essence in one. So if everybody is done, I can begin. So I give you I might have taught, if you are my students, for sure. Hatha yoga, pose, and pranayama, breath. I am telling you applicable form, in a scientific way. Open mind, just think, what could be a pranayama? What is pranayama? Breath, something to do with breath, physical. This breath, 4 process: in, stay, out, stay. That's it. Only 4, no? Right. Rechak, Purak, Kumbhak, Antar Kumbhak, or Bahir Kumbhak. No, it's technical form. In, say, breathing in, pause, breathing out, pause. What else the breath has? 4 things. And Hatha Yoga is pose. So Hatha Yoga is what? Learning to apply force. Where? Doesn't matter where. Anywhere. If you apply force to get the change what you exactly want, if it comes in relationship to our physical body, where we apply force? Bones, muscles, nerves, skin. Where else you will apply force? Anything you like. I'm not going to physical aspect. I'm coming to psychic, pranayama. So let's same logic. So yoga for me is a 10 minutes class to give the key. 15 minutes. He is in 10-15 minutes. So what we are learning? Application of force. Application of force. How much? Where? That's it. Any disease, any discomfort, any problem, any issue which we will have, we learn to application of force, where and how. That's it. And how much? So pranayama, if we come down to this very fundamental logic, has only 4 features: in, pause, out, pause. Where you will apply force, that will change the whole your mind immediately.
How do you know where to apply it?
We don't know. We don't know. We don't need to know. But we only know that only 4 places we can apply force. There's no 5th one. So we practice. Very simple. First you observe and watch where the force is applied. Where you are applying force already. Suppose you are frustrated. Suppose we are using yoga as a tool to remove some obstacles, inflictions, therapy. Suppose we are using pranayama as therapy. Okay? You are a teacher. And you open your yoga studio. You sit there. Every day, any students can come. Suppose you start to solve problem. No? You write on your board, any problem we can solve. So, pranayama. You just write a board in front of your school. Any problem whatsoever will be resolved here. Just by what? Pranayama. What do you have? Suppose every day you are meeting 10 patients, 10 clients, all coming with different problems. Yeah. So diseases can be as many people, that much diseases they will explain in their own way. In any of the group, we are applying force, either in breathing in, or in breathing out, or in pausing in, or in pausing outside. 4 places you will apply force in a certain. Suppose you can't think what can do. You are not having any creative thought. You are not finding the way. Suppose this is the problem. Somebody comes to you, say, I have lost the direction in my life. I don't know what to do. I don't like to meet people. I don't find meaning in relating to any person. I am useless. I am worthless. Our world is useless. Worthy. I don't want to live. I don't know what to do. But one problem, this like could be 1,000 problems. No, people can come up. Even somebody can come up. I have sciatica, or I have this. I have. But pranayama works mostly in psychological issue. No, because psychological, directly affecting the mind immediately within few minutes. So what you will say, a person is having an issue, person is applying force stereotype, either only on breathing in, or holding the breath inside, not letting go, or applying force to breathe out, doesn't want to breathe in, or this way, the person force will be applied, and either of one. But how you will know? You have to be highly professional. Suppose you will not know. You don't have to diagnose. This is India. One medicine, any disease, no? Like Pavel, one Shilajit and solve all the diseases. In India, you will find people like specialists. One person is specialist in garlic. Any problem you ask, it is through garlic, what to do with garlic. Morning, evening, how to eat, with how to mix with honey, without honey, with cooking, not cooking, juice, no are somehow they are expert in garlic, and they can do kaya kalpa only with garlic, nothing else. So they are expert in one. So that's how in India we are taught. Look, don't boggle your mind to diagnose what sickness person has. Don't bother about it. Follow one technique, it will work on everyone. So you don't need to be expert to diagnose the person, analyze the person, and spend time. Yes, listen carefully. Slowly, you will be adept. How? Being yourself. So what you can learn only by yourself. Like suppose in any mood you are, you observe. You will find that you are applying force either in or pause or out or. So just to be aware of it. The moment you will become aware, the breath will change. This is the miracle of a witness. The moment a witness begins, things start to dance. They cannot remain constant. No, Purusha, his very presence make the Prakriti, nature, so disturbed that she is evolving from who knows how many billions of trillions of years. No? This is the theory. Sankhya, Yoga, which we study, we have Purusha and we have Prakriti. We ask, Purusha is a witness, he never touched the Prakriti. So we ask, what happened? So nothing happened. In the presence of Purusha, Prakriti got disturbed. So this breathing is also your nature, your Prakriti, the way you breathe. Once you become aware, the breath will start to change. The force is changed. Or, so what do? You sit and you just breathe 1 minute, apply force for breathing in, 1 minute apply force for pause in, 1 minute apply force for breathing out, and 1 minute for outside. So you apply force in all the four and let it go. The breath will settle by itself. Or if you are expert and you can observe the person by watching where the breath is applied. So if the person is applying too much force on holding in and person is sick, so what you have to do? Just opposite. Teach the person a pranayama where person has to apply force on breathing out and holding it out. If person is sick and you observe that his breath, he's putting more in breath and not out. So you reverse the process. If you observe that person is not breathing in, then you say breathe in. So you do just opposite and mind turns to opposite. The sickness turns to opposite, which we call health. Turning opposite, that's Patanjali Yoga. He teaches how to turn the mind to opposite and balance it. Like if you are having a thought of violence a lot, so Patanjali will say, create thought, compassion, opposite thought, not to balance it. Opposite bhavana, opposite feeling. And Hatha Yoga will just do opposite. Apply force, opposite side of the breath where you are not using. Same in Hatha Yoga practice also. You will see every person is doing one asana a lot and applying force exactly at one point a lot and not applying force in some part of the body. That's how, in a very simple movement, Marvin, Paschimottanasana, or I can teach you very simple Surya Namaskar, and through Surya Namaskar, you can counter any disease possible. Any disease, I say. This is India, no? If you master one asana, one technique, through that, or one herbs, through that you explore that, wow, its applicability is increasing, more you are learning. We say one asana Surya Namaskar, one mudra lotus, one pranayama, which I am telling you just to learn how to turn things opposite. And you can pick anything, but you will have to become master. Right? Really explore with your whole awareness each details of it. And then in any of the person, you can see, oh, this is missing. And where it's missing, we force what we teach you. We saw your weakness, we saw your mistake, and keep on teaching you to transform this into weakness, to strength, turning things opposite. So today, this is my key, yoga key. Apply it, learn by yourself. What to learn? Where you are applying force and where is the disease. For healthy, to become enlightened today, now, with Hatha Yoga, within few hours, same technique works. You apply equal force on all the four. Within 3 hours, guaranteed God will appear before you. Equal force on all the four. Very simple technique, but Hatha Yoga, you need to have Sankalp Shakti. This is willpower approach. So I'm telling you a male approach. This is a male technique. not a female technique, male technique, but yoga is a male approach. And applying equal force, all the four, 42 minutes, a glimpse. And if you 42, 42, 42, if you keep on 3 and don't stop, continue, one energy layer break, another, third, we say, you become Shiva. There will be no difference between you and Shiva. Hatha yoga technique. My life is to see the applicability of hundreds of techniques and see the applicability of one. So I have one sequence to teach people. Paschimottanasana to Halasana, one Surya Namaskar, and some variations supporting. Enough for anything. Any disease you call, doesn't matter. Person should be capable enough to understand the instructions and willingness to follow. So one sequence, enough. One pranayama for Hatha Yoga way. There could be many, but this is the simplest and roughest. Say if someone has no intelligence can follow it. You don't need to be very literate or doctor or engineer or very smart person. No. Very simple person can follow. Hatha yoga is, you don't need to be your IQ should not be great. And you should not be literate or you should not be nothing applied. You should just understand the simple instruction. You should learn to control the force. Force. How much, at which point, where, and what is the direction. That is all Hatha yoga is. And in a subtle form, it is Raja yoga, which leads to samadhi, enlightenment. So if you're ready to experiment, let's do it. Simple technique. And turn your mind to opposite. You will have fun. You can make your mind very angry. You can make your mind very compassionate. I'm teaching samadhi in the same technique, breath. We are learning the Patanjali techniques of breath. He says only through breath, enough. You can do anything possible. Very simple. Very simple. Learning, if you don't want to change or play around, if you want to explore, whole life is there. Explore anytime. And if you just don't want to explore, stopping the mind here and now within seconds or minutes. Few cycle of breath. You can stop it, turn it opposite, do whatever you like. And also, there is another, this is Hatha yoga, and I want to keep it here. Because there is another technique of psychic aspect of it. That's the yoga. But make it in Hatha yoga, very physical breath. Observe what is happening. Observe your state of mind. Turn it opposite consciously. And see what's happening in your mind. And if you only want to be enlightened, not interested in exploring, distribute the force equally on all the four. Mind will come to stand still. Stop. Mind cannot move if equal force is applied on all the four aspects of it. It can only move if this is imbalance.
Fluctuations.
Yeah. So this is Yoga International Day technique, and very simple.
Thank you for sharing. It's always, I keep, admiring your depth of your analogical thinking. You always come up with very clear techniques and explanations, which makes it simple to understand to the person, even who is not into it, doesn't have any idea about it.
You don't
So
need
this
to.
is the, I guess, best skill of the best teacher.
See, I just forgot. I was saying what to 3. I just forgot. When you were saying, I was remembering something very nice to talk about it. But
We'll come
but
to
I,
it. We'll come to it.
yeah, I will come to.
Sorry for
So
disruption.
should we practice it? Should we practice it?
We
Learn
can.
the pose. No? So I will calibrate you to come to an asana by our sense organs, no, through Niranjan Kriya. So listening, we have sense organs: listening, feeling, and watching. Eyes, ear, and your kinesthetic sense. So this is stand the posture so you can observe and make it equal. Force. No? How 10 kg force, 1 horsepower to breathe in, then 1 horsepower to hold. Then 1 horsepower to throw out, and then 1 horsepower to hold it outside. No, we are playing with force, power, Shakti, energy. So it's a
Can
male
we
technique.
just count at the same time? I mean, count for 4 or count for 6. It means
That
you are
is
applying
also
the same force.
that is also a one way.
Okay.
That is also a one way. We can equalize with time. But many times you might need a lot of force to hold it 4 seconds from inside, and you need more force. So this force is different. So you can go with the timing also, but main trick is in the force. So let's begin. I guide you a little bit just to stop your mind for a while so you can be centered, no, through our senses. Niranjan Kriya, remember? So just find any posture, and use your sense, 3 senses you have: feeling, listening, and watching. So start, anyone, doesn't matter which your strength is, but try all the 3. Feel. Feel means very concrete. Knee pain, back pain, sensation, touch of the clothes to the skin, eyeglasses, whatsoever you can feel, touch. Texture, pain, good feeling, bad feeling. So just feeling, sensing your body. And sense 2 polarities. We are playing with opposites. Where the sensation is maximum in the body and which part of the body you can't feel at all. No sensation. 2 opposites. Feeling. And then come to listening. Listening the subtlest voice, the subtlest noise, the subtlest sound, the far away sound. And in that way, you come to listen a continuous sound, which is surrounding you from all over. Listening and relaxing your eyes, your eyeballs, either open, but looking at one dot point and not moving at all. You can keep it open if you can do it, or you close it and make it fully relaxed as if you don't want to see anything. Move to opposite. We use our eyes We have desire to see. And with this desire, mind is moving, following it, supporting your desire. So for a while, you say you don't want to see anything outside. Dropping that desire and relaxing the eyeballs fully and completely. No tension. When eyeballs will be fully relaxed, the energy goes directly to the third eye, not by forcing third eye to activate. When you will withdraw the energy from both the eyes, fully dead, you don't want to see anything, completely dead eyes, then the energy will go to the third eye. So now your mind will start to come to a position, your posture will start to become solid. With this technique, you will adopt a pose, asana. And in this stillness, you will observe your breath. The moment you will start to observe, remember, it will start to change. Because you are observing, you are becoming a witness, and your object is breath, so breath will start to change. So don't worry, let it change. And observe in this settlement what's happening, where the force is increasing, in breathing in or breathing out. Just by your observation, things will change. Means you are observing breath, means your breath pattern will start to change. And when it's changing, what's happening? You are applying more force in breathing out, or you are applying more force in breathing in. It will start to balance by itself just by the force of witness. That is Raj Yoga. You are doing nothing, just observing, and the breath will come to balance. If you want to do it, you make balance by yourself. Means 5 seconds, suppose you're taking time for breathing in, 5 seconds to hold, 5 seconds to breathe out, and 5 seconds to pause. You can also play with time. Counting. You can make your own counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Follow your own body. Follow your own speed. Learn by yourself. This is completely learning by yourself. We can only improvise. I can only give you logic, technique. Training and exploration is yours. And then only you can able to help someone. By very simple methods. 3 senses and equalizing the force over the breath. and you are fully aware. Aware of your senses, aware of your observation, and also aware of the technique, of your effort. Fully conscious. If you get tired of your effort, do nothing, just observe and learn. And when you are energetic, want to do something, do it actively. In this way, you can explore the breath, the technique of breath, pranayama. When to put emphasis on breathing out, when to put emphasis on breathing in, when to pause. And you will learn by your own state of mind, by exploring yourself in different moods, different timings, and different atmosphere. If you will keep on practice, you will become master. So, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I'm calling you back. You don't like to, but we have time. Already running out, 8:40. So take a short time. Yes, 3 things. My teachings has, and the slogan of my school is in Hindi, Saral means simple, Sushma means subtle, and sovereign. Simple, subtle, and sovereign. The sovereignty comes from experience. Teaching only that which you experience. Or sovereignty can also come by some valid books. If you trust and have working on this book, and you trust, yes. So simple, subtle, and sovereign.
Thank you for
is,
sharing. Thank you. It was
so how was
very
it?
deep.
Everything very simple, very subtle, but very powerful.
It was very deep, yes, for me. Yeah, thank you.
This is become Indian, learn one thing and and treat everything. India, we are famous for this. No, one person gives mastery, one technique, and teaching everyone. Only one. Doesn't matter who will come. So this is the technique to explore pranayama. I hope you got the technique. Mind will stop a little bit, and then deeper and deeper it goes. So thank you very much. Come to next Friday. Pavel will be preparing. Our theme of running is textbook. We have yoga in action. How to do action in yoga. That is our theme, running. I don't know how long it will go. It is a very big subject. And I think it will go at least 1 year. If I continue once a week, every week, it will take 1 year to complete the whole thing. In meantime, you all welcome with your experience, what is connecting to you, and that helps the newcomers with your story. Right and wrong doesn't matter, what you understand, but it shows your effort to understand the truth. And where you are, what you are doing, doesn't matter, right and wrong, but honestly moving. And keep on learning, open to learn. If something wrong, drop it. Something right, learn it.
Thank you, Krishna, for the experience.
Thank you. for your presence.
Please be.
You got your mic. Krishnaji, you got your mic. You're muted.
You're muted.
We cannot hear you.
We cannot. It's fine. It's fine.
You got your mic. Krishnaji, you got your mic. You're muted.
Okay, now?
You're muted.
No.
Now you're delayed. Now you're delayed.
Now you delay.
We cannot hear you.
We cannot. It's fine. It's fine.
Why you can't hear me?
You got your mic. Krishnaji, you got your mic. You're muted. Okay, now? Wow, that's a long delay. That's like 20 seconds.
Yeah. Shall we finish the session?
No, I
What?
think everything fine.
Yeah, now it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the background, YouTube was going on.
Okay.
And my voice was,
Ah.
so two voices were coming.
I see. I see.
So this is it. Very simple way. Next time you meet, again will be simple. So we are exploring yoga in action. We are taking from Patanjali Yoga Sutra to have support, and also having support from the chapter called Dhyana Yoga. This is from Gita, given by Krishna. One chapter is dedicated for meditation. So we will. That is also yoga in action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Krishna is very confusing for people. He say, do act, but don't think about its fruit. And people don't know how this. So this is what the first thing begins, this Dhyana Yoga begins with this sutra. So it will be quite interesting for you to think about it. What Krishna is saying in the first sutra is, do your work, but don't bother about its result. So it's a different way. And we are using through Hatha Yoga way, we are using through Patanjali way. So we will encompassing and your experience and your questions. So altogether, making it a very nice guidebook for any newcomers or experienced professionals. It will work and help to them. Yeah. So anyone wants to speak for 1 minute, conclude something, or we say goodbye?
Thank you, everyone, for your presence. Thank you for sharing.
See you next Friday, 7 p.m.